City boy, city boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do a Friday night Smackdown review, baby. So before we get into the content, I want to go ahead and thank everybody that has liked and subscribed to the content, okay? I appreciate everybody so much. I am now able to do membership, so if you would like, okay, this is not something that you have to do, but if you would like to support the channel in any way that you can do that for, at the very least, $1 a month, okay? It'll be very appreciated. Everything goes back into the channel, all right? And it'll just all go to making the content better, you know what I mean? I want to be able to hire an editor and all that good stuff, so that way I can give y'all more engaging content, right? Because I know maybe my voice might get a little tiring sometimes, so maybe you want to take a look at something while you're doing that, all right? So, yes, once again, I appreciate everybody for liking and subscribing. Like and subscribe right now if you want to hear some more. And let's go ahead and get on into it, all right? So tonight's show, okay, was the epitome of boring, garbage, filler nonsense, okay? It was the epitome of it, all right? Tonight's show had one highlight, all right? Two highlights. I would say it had two highlights tonight in a 3-hour show, okay? We'll go ahead and jump right on into it. So we start off the show, okay, by them telling us that the final boss is going to be returning, okay? So, final boss is going to be returning. We, go through a couple of the matches and stuff that we're going to have tonight, whatever, okay? We cut backstage, okay, to Cody Rhodes talking to Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis tells Cody Rhodes that he's being taken out of the 6-man tag that was advertised for tonight, okay? It was supposed to be Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Braun Strowman versus Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. Okay? That's what it was supposed to be. But Cody got taken out. He's like, what the fuck? Why? Why'd I get taken out? Nick Aldis is like, look, man, this is out of my hands. Cody's like, who can I call? What can I do? He's like, look, man, there's nobody you can call. There's nothing you can do. All right? This is completely out of my hands. This is coming from way above me if you smell what I'm cooking. All right? So basically, The Rock decided to take Cody Rhodes out of the match tonight for absolutely no reason, and we'll get into that, okay? But next up, all right, we don't get a boring, monotonous promo for the first time in like 80 weeks, right? We start off with a match instead. We start off with a match between Drew McIntyre and Jimmy Uso, okay? This match was nothing really to write home about, okay? One thing that did happen during the match, maybe the reason why I wasn't anything to write home about, is because half of the match happened picture-in-picture, okay? Half of the match was in a picture-in-picture commercial, okay? So you really couldn't pay attention to whatever was going on in the match because, you know what I'm saying, you had fucking Gronkowski over here hawking that Pizza Hut shit, right? Right next to fucking Damian Priest stomping out Jimmy Uso. So it wasn't really anything that you could get into. The match ends with Jimmy winning, right, by roll-up. So Damian Priest has been, not Damian Priest, who cares? Drew McIntyre has been beat, all right, I think it's a month's time by both of the Usos, okay? Crazy work, all right? He loses by a roll-up. All right, afterwards, Jimmy gets attacked by Drew because that's what Drew does. He loses, then attacks the person he lost to. All right, whatever, okay? We move on. Solo Sikoa shows up, and he talks to Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, okay? He pulls up, and, he's like, hey, man, I want to let y'all know that what happened last week, it was an accident. Jacob's like, yeah. Of course it was an accident, because if it wasn't an accident, you wouldn't be standing here right now. Solo's like, cool, I'm glad we're all on the same page here. I will be out there for y'all's match tonight, between Braun Strowman and Damian Priest and y'all. And Jacob Fatu, he's like, nah. See, you've been gone for so long, man. And me and Tama, we've been doing everything. We've been dropping motherfuckers. So, as a result of that, it's going to be me and you tonight that are going to be running the play. Solo's like, yup, I'm down with that. This is why I love you. And Jacob just walks off. Or no. He says, this is why I love you. He taps Tama Tonga on the chest, right? He says, I'm going to go talk to Nick Aldis. I'll be right back. So he goes and does that. Then we cut to an earlier segment. I think we might have got a commercial right after that. But we cut to an earlier segment between R-Truth and Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Hayes, right? And Carmelo Hayes, he's like, what are you doing? Because R-Truth is like, hey, man, we got a match tonight. Carmelo Hayes is like, no, we don't. We had a match last week. R-Truth is like, man, I've never seen you before in my life, all right? But we do have a match tonight. He's like, who set up this match with us tonight? Truth says him. Melo says, we're not doing this shit again, all right? I'm him, all right? We already discussed this. We already went through this. He's like, nah, him set up the match. And then out pops The Miz, okay? So The Miz asks R-Truth, like, who's his partner, whatever. Then, The Miz tries to do the whole Melo don't Miz thing, the fist bump that he did, I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago at this point. And Carmelo Hayes walks away, and that's that, okay? We pull up for the match, okay? Miz starts to come out. Carmelo Hayes comes out right after him, kind of moves him out of the way. They're kind of, having a dick hanging contest, you know what I'm saying? To see, who has more hype. Neither the audience can't care about either of them at this point in their career, okay? So, we go to commercial. After commercial, we get a vignette from Zelina Vega, all right, where she's talking about how, how it doesn't matter how small she is, her size doesn't matter. She has big dreams and she has big goals and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? She was the first queen of the ring, this, that, and the other. All right. We don't care. All right. And then we move on. Right. So we get the match. All right. R-Truth comes out. He cuts a promo, basically says, I got a Louisiana legend here tonight. Okay. And yeah, he's like a homegrown talent. And then out comes LA Knight. And for the dumb asses in the back, Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett have to explain that the LA is because, fucking LA Knight is not from LA, but he's from Maryland. But he got the nickname LA because he moved to Hollywood. All right. And LA means Los Angeles, not the state, the state abbreviation for Louisiana, which is LA. We had to go ahead and just break that down for some reason for the dumbasses in the back. Okay. So that's going to be the match is going to be LA Knight and R-Truth versus Melo and Miz. Okay, this was a decent match for what it was worth while it went down. Okay, the match ended by Shinsuke attacking fucking LA Knight while the referee's back was turned. All right, attacking him on the outside, and then from there, Melo and the Miz, they just they take advantage of R-Truth at that point. No Diddy, and they pick up the pinfall victory with like a skull crushing finale into the first 48. It was a pretty decent looking move. I think they need to work on it a little bit more, but I see what they're going for, and it's decent enough. So there was that match. So we'll see what goes on from there. Next, we move on to a vignette from Charlotte. Okay. And she basically says, the GOAT doesn't have to call themselves the GOAT. Whatever. All right, we go through all her accomplishments. We've seen this vignette 1,762 times, so we don't really need to go through it. All right. Next up, we get Tiffany Stratton coming out, where she's trying to start talking about, how, she has a target on her back, and everybody's coming after her, this, that, and the other. how Charlotte likes to kick people when they're down. All right. Then she gets interrupted by Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. And by gosh, this was just horrible. Okay. This was just bad. All right. Do we even really have to talk about this? They came out and basically said, all right, yeah, you thought that you were going to be able to beat me last week, but you weren't even close, really. All right. But after we whip your ass at Elimination Chamber, we're going to whip your ass and I'm going to come back for my title. This, that, and the other. Tiffany says, this is not your title, whatever. Naomi, fucking Nia, she's like, yeah, it is, this, that, and I'm going to, I don't even want to wait for Elimination Chamber. I want to beat your ass right now. So her and Candice LeRae are getting ready to beat her ass right now. But then here comes the ref. She backs them off, whatever. We're about to have a match between Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton, okay? Why? I don't know, but we're here, all right? Charlotte joins commentary and adds absolutely nothing during this match, okay? Tiffany ends up picking up the win using the prettiest moonsault ever. And then she gets attacked after the match by Nia Jax, all right? Trish Stratus comes out to try to even the odds, but Nia Jax is just too big of a bitch, all right? And then Candice LeRae kind of, jumps on him, and, they beat the shit out of her. They beat the shit out of Tiffany, all right? Cool. I'm all right. I'm fine with this. All right. But then Nia Jax stacks Tiffany and Trish up, and she pulls them over into the corner and pulls off the worst, the shittiest, the absolute most god awful, excuse me, Heavenly Father, annihilator that I've ever seen in my life. Okay, pulls off the worst annihilator that I've ever seen in my life. It didn't even she literally didn't even drop it on him for real. Okay, I get it. Trish is old, right? Whatever. Tiffany's small, but at the same time, you have to at least try to make it look devastating. She didn't even try. She just politely sat on them. Okay, I don't get what that was, but whatever. That was that. Charlotte comes into the ring after that. All right, and then points to the sign and leaves, okay? Cody meets up with Damian Priest backstage, all right? He's walking through. Damian Priest comes up, and Damian's like, hey, man, why is The Rock here? Cody's like, hey, man, I don't know, but, it's that time of the year, so, your guess is as good as mine at this point. Cody then congratulates Damian Priest for being in the chamber. All right, working his way into the chamber. All right, Damian Priest tells Cody exactly what the audience and everybody else already knows, and it doesn't make any sense. He's like, yeah, so I just want you to know that if I win this chamber, I'm coming after your title, as if he has another option. So it's like, duh, nigga, you only have one option at this point. The other title is already off the table, and you already had that title. Nobody liked that, so whatever. Okay. Cody Rhodes says, "Cool. I wouldn't have it any other way." All right. Braun Strowman then walks up. He's like, whatever. You got over on everybody last week. If it wasn't for all these folks and all this commotion last week, I would have won. Right. Damian's like, man, you're sounding like Drew McIntyre with all these excuses. And then, he basically asks him, are you ready to handle business tonight? Braun Strowman's like, yeah, and whatever. We move on. Naomi and Bianca, they have an interview backstage with Byron Saxton. And they basically say that, yeah, we know for sure that it was Liv and Raquel that, did what they, did the deed to Jade Cargill, all right? Said they're going to whoop their ass, and then they're going to move on. But we have a match for Naomi and Liv tonight, so we're going to see what happens with that. Or it was up next after this interview, so they're like, we're going to see what happens with that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to whoop their ass then we're going to whoop their ass on Monday. Now, this didn't make sense to me, okay? Because Byron Saxton made it known that they're going to be in a World Tag Team title match or whatever, right? He told us that they were going to be in a tag team title match. And for some reason, now they're going to also have a match as a one-on-one between Naomi and Liv, like right now. Didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense to me, okay? But that's what happened, okay? Next up, we have Naomi versus Liv, except before the match could even start, right? Naomi and Bianca, they get attacked by from behind by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. They beat the dog shit out of them. Tahana Bomb to Bianca Belair. Oblivion to Naomi. All right, there is no match at this point, okay? And we move the fuck on. All right. Chelsea and Piper, they pull up. They're like, hey, man, so I see that, Bianca and Naomi, they basically just got taken out. So we want to go ahead and get into the chamber. Nick Aldis is like, nah, they're going to be in the Elimination Chamber. Like, I know that for a fact, okay? And, they're like, Chelsea's like, how are you going to have, a show out in Toronto without two of Canada's finest, basically. I'm the oldest, the youngest, the prettiest, the shortest, the tallest, the first United States women's champion, so I should be somewhere there. Nick Aldis is like, go ahead, grab yourself a good outfit, pack your bags, because y'all will be in action next week on Smackdown in Toronto. So we'll see what happens there, because he didn't tell us what exactly they were going to be doing. I swear, if this is going to be a match between Michin and B-Fab, Chelsea Green and fucking Piper Niven, I'm going to jump off the second story balcony straight onto my neck. I'm letting you know right now, okay? Letting you know right now, just in case you don't get a review from me next week, all right? That is what happened, okay? If you don't watch the show and you just watch my reviews and other people's reviews, if you don't get a review from me next week, I took myself out, because I can't do it. I seriously cannot do it, all right? Next up, we get the final boss. He returns, okay? He has this really shitty entrance theme going on. It was like cut with like some hip hop shit. It was weird. I didn't like how it was cut. All right, but whatever, okay? He pulled up. He said he was going to drop some good gospel shit on y'all asses tonight. All right. He announces basically that WrestleMania will be coming to New Orleans. All right. Ends up calling Cody Rhodes down to the ring. These niggas kissing and hugging in the middle of the ring. If you think I'm lying, go back and watch it. All right. These niggas kissing and hugging in the middle of the ring. All right. Rock tells everybody that they've become good friends, that their mamas became good friends, that they met each other's families, this, that, and the other. Right? All this shit. All right? Just straight pure cocksucking galore. He told Cody that he was a great champion at least 10 times. I counted. It was at least 10 times. At least 10 times, okay? You're a great champion. You're a great champion. You're a great champion. Just straight dick sucking. All right? Then, basically at the end of this, all this cocksucking and all this shit, all right? He says that he wants Cody to be his champion. All right? No Diddy. Okay? Cody's like, just as well as I know that I'm not your or anybody else's champion. I'm their champion. You know what I'm saying? Referring to the crowd. The Rock says that he can make anything happen for Cody. He can make all his dreams come true, But this is the thing. This is where I have an issue with this whole segment, okay? Because Cody does not have any characteristics. He doesn't have any distinguishing characteristics, all right? We don't know what his dreams are, what his goals are, okay? All we know, right? All the fuck we know is that Cody Rhodes wanted to be WWE champion. He is that now, and now he doesn't actually have any other goals. He doesn't have any other aspirations. That is a fact. Because if that was a fact, then those dreams, goals, and aspirations would be stated outright, or at least be shown to us as an audience. But he doesn't have any goals. He doesn't have any dreams. He doesn't have any aspirations. His whole goal in his life was to become WWE champion, and he's already done that. Okay? But The Rock says that, he can make anything happen for him. he doesn't want a fucking answer tonight. He'll wait, right, until the Elimination Chamber. He wants Cody to go home, talk to his wife, this, that, and the other. And then while they're about to end the segment, and the segment ended off very awkwardly, okay? The Rock says, I really want that. All right? And he's pointing towards Cody. So Cody's like, you want my title? Rock's like, no, I don't want your title. I want your soul. No Diddy. All right? And then they walk away. No music plays. You know what I'm saying? They're just walking away, kind of looking back and forth at each other, this, that, and the other. And that was that segment. So they were hyping up The Rock returning that whole time just so The Rock could come out, suck some dick. You know what I'm saying? Tell us that we're going to be seeing WrestleMania in New Orleans next year and that he wants Cody to be his champion. So, we'll see what happens there. Okay. Maybe this will be Cody Rhodes' time to turn heel. I personally couldn't give a fuck if he's heel, face, tween, none of that shit. He's a twink to me, okay? That is all he is, and that's all he'll ever be, okay? Came out dressed like Pete Buttigieg in this bitch, okay? A blonde Pete Buttigieg, all right? If you don't know who Pete Buttigieg is, you need to get your fucking, you need to get up on what's current right now, all right? But anyway, okay, after that awful segment, okay, absolutely awful promo, awful all around, we move into something else awful, okay? We can move into DIY versus Pretty Deadly, okay? This match also nothing to write home about. It ends in a DQ finish, okay? So if you're keeping count here, first match, all right, first match ends in a roll-up. Second match ends because somebody attacked them, attacked LA Knight, right? Shinsuke attacked LA Knight. Third match didn't even happen because they got beat the fuck up. And now this match, it also ends in a DQ. So we just have a bunch of null and void ass matches going on tonight. But whatever. The Street Profits make their in-ring return, all right? They came back and just beat the dog shit out of everybody, okay? This was good to see at least, all right? I'll never complain about seeing DIY get their asses whipped, all right? Motor City Machine Guns came out to absolutely zero pop. Zero pop. Nobody in New Orleans could give a fuck, all right, about what the fucking Motor City Machine Guns were coming out there to do. Not even slightly, all right? They tried to go ahead and attack the Profits, and the Profits just beat the dog shit out of them too. So I'm not mad at that. Street Profits are now my favorite tag team of all time, all right? And that's just what it is, okay? After this, we get like 10, 15 minutes of straight recaps. John Cena, his whole thing where he just says that he's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. We get a recap of the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens thing, what they have going on. But after this, we actually get this shit was just crazy, okay? I kind of fuck with Kevin Owens for this. I don't know whose idea this was, but it was actually a pretty good idea, okay? Kevin Owens is cutting a promo outside of Sami Zayn's house, right? Kevin Owens is basically saying, so you wanted to hurt me. You say you want to end my career, right? But what about your family, okay? Because that would hurt my family. Well, what about your family, huh? Have you thought about what that would do to your family if I ruined your career, if I ended your career? And he, turns his camera, because he's, on his camera phone, right? He turns his camera phone around and shows that he's right outside of Sami Zayn's house, okay? He's looking through a window. Sami Zayn is with his daughter, with his wife and shit like that. He's like, what are you going to tell them, all right, when you can't afford to pay the bills anymore, when you got to give up the big house, right, when you can't be the man of the house anymore? Just crazy shit. This was actually well done. I actually really liked how that was, all right? KO cuts decent promos when he wants to, and this idea, I liked how it was executed, okay? Last up on the list, yes, that's right, last up on the list, we have Priest and Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, okay? They go ahead, they cut Solo Solo and Jacob, they cut like a pre-match promo, okay? Solo starts talking, but Jacob Fatu kind of interrupts him and does this whole Yaramin whole shit, you know what I'm saying, promo. We've been dropping bodies like breadcrumbs, all right? Like that's what Jacob Fatu was on tonight, all right? Just straight up cut off Solo Sikoa and what he was saying. So we see what's going on here. The power dynamic is switching around, and I couldn't care less about any of that shit going on. The bloodline needs to die. So if this is how it dies, this is how it dies. Very anticlimactic for the bloodline. One of the best story lines of all time. Crazy work. But anyways, we get into the match, okay? This match, it was pretty fun. There were some cool spots, all right? We had, a couple of cross bodies, right? You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of big bodies splashing around, right? It was cool. Most of it was hampered by commercials, so you couldn't really get into it, especially since it was like the last 10 minutes, 12 minutes of the show, and they had to cut it up with like 2 separate commercials. Crazy work, right? But the match ended like this, okay? So remember last week how Solo Sikoa accidentally kicked Tama Tonga? Well, this week, Solo Sikoa accidentally kicked Jacob Fatu, okay? They end up taking advantage of this, all right? Fucking Fatu gets thrown out of the ring. Braun Strowman, he was getting his ass whooped most of this match, okay? Getting his ass handed to him most of this match. He's just a big-ass Tozawa at this point. But he just runs around the ring, does the whole, does the train thing that he does, no Diddy, right? Pushes Jacob Fatu over the announce table. Then Damian Priest hits the South of Heaven on Solo Sikoa, and that was pretty much it. They lose the match. We go off the air, okay? There was not much going on in tonight's show, all right? Like I said, this was the definition of filler episode, because no storyline progressed at all whatsoever, if you could even call any of this shit storylines, right? Nothing progressed, nothing really happened. The only highlights of the show were LA Knight, KO having that pretty decent promo that he had, and The Rock just being there, okay? Because nothing that The Rock said was anything to write home about at all, okay? But we'll see what happens with this whole Cody and Rock situation. But I mean, at this point, we're a month out from the Elimination Chamber, or from WrestleMania, right? We're like 5, right? 4 or 5. How many weeks away? We're like 6 weeks away from the fucking WrestleMania at this point. What really is going to happen within these 6 weeks? Hopefully a lot, okay? Because 6 weeks is a lot of time, but we know how Triple H books. I'm going to keep an open mind since The Rock is back and he was able to actually make, last year's WrestleMania some kind of bearable, right? But my hopes are not high. My hopes are not high. Yeah, but that was tonight's show, man. I give tonight's show a fat 2 out of 10, all right? Nothing really happened tonight. Nothing, like pretty much every match ended in a DQ or a no contest. You know what I'm saying? And the matches that didn't, they all had pretty much screwy finishes. There were no clean matches tonight. All right. All of the backstage promos sucked. All right. All the backstage segments, I should say, sucked. All right. And there's nothing really to say about this show. It was below mid. Just straight ass, all right? So let me know what y'all thought about tonight's show. What did y'all think about The Rock, the final boss, making his return? Did you like anything in the show tonight, all right? Did you think Kevin Owens' promo was decent, all right? LA Knight's back. That's always good for me in the audience. Y'all know what it is, all right? But yeah, once again, this has been your boy, Nate the Great, all right? Like I said, we do have memberships, so if you want to help out the channel, please go ahead and check those out, see what kind of perks you can get, check out the merchandise as well, and I'll see you motherfuckers in the next one. Peace.